So I don't consider myself an audio nerd, but I've really been put onto the Ozone Maximizer lately as a mastering limiter. And I wanted to share why I've been liking it so much in case there are Ozone users out there who just haven't used the Maximizer module yet, because that was me for a long time. I used a bunch of the other stuff, but I used the Pro L2. Anyways, off the top, there's a lot that I like about this limiter. The Delta mode is really cool, or being able to really quickly switch between the different styles is helpful. They definitely each have their own vibe, but the main reason I've been using this limiter is because of the results I get with these IRC modules. And I wanted to just talk about how they work, or at least my understanding of how it works, because it does get pretty complicated. IRC stands for Intelligent Release Control. What Ozone's doing is it's taking the input signal, so it's taking your song and it's generating 6 to 8 individual versions of the track, each with different attack and release times. And attack and release times, when it comes to limiting, determine how transparent the limiting is going to be, and it also determines how much distortion is going to be occurring. So it has these 6 to 8 versions, and then it basically does a bunch of math to calculate distortion scores for each of these versions. Then it compares them, and then it outputs the most aggressively limited signal with the least amount of distortion. And it's doing this process constantly throughout the entire track. I find this works really well for house music and dance music because there's usually a lot of variation between different sections in a house track, right? We have the drop where the drums are rocking, the bass is there might be some vocals, some synths, some effects, and then we might have a really chill breakdown section where it's like a little bit of drums and a vocal, or maybe just a vocal and a pad. So the fact that the limiter is constantly analyzing the incoming signal and optimizing the attack and release settings for it means that we should get a more transparent result overall. And the second thing that this helps with is loudness. I find that I can push tracks a little bit farther when it comes to loudness before it starts distorting. You know, for the people out there who might have Ozone but they've just never even opened the Maximizer module, because that was me for a long time, I just used Pro L2, definitely give it a shot. My favorite mode is the balance mode on dance music. It changes, but that's the one I feel like I'm reaching for most often.